All right, hello everyone. How you guys doing today? Good, fantastic. All right, today I'm going to be talking about Gerbert Johnson. Certainly, with the topics I've been talking about, I think he's a good person to talk about because he's a young guy that has noticed a lot of the red pill, and manosphere content, and he's talked about it, and also a lot about the problems of people that are Gen Z. So I think he's pretty important to talk about because I think he's a good representation of someone that is bothered by a lot of things of the modern day and has coped decently well. I think he's nihilistic about some things. I think he's good about other things. So firstly, he's clearly, he's told his life story that, he was shorter, um, and had problems in high school with, him being exhausted when he came home and just, all the problems with modern day, uh, adolescents people with the phones and the video game addiction and the prawn and all that stuff. Um, and yeah, I think they're great points. All of these habits didn't really exist like 50 years ago, really. I mean, you had magazines for the prawn. Video games are just starting to come out. I mean, well, 50 years, I'm not sure, probably like the 90s or 80s. I'm not entirely sure about video games, but you guys know what I'm saying. So I mean, I agree that those are problems that we have to deal with. And a word he talks about a lot is being atomized, which, from what I can tell, basically means disconnected. In the suburbs, there's not as many communities that, church isn't as important as it used to be. There's not great social gatherings as much as there used to be. I mean, of course, there's sports, but in terms of like everyone just sitting down at the campfire in a tribe, right? Not really as much. Social connections a lot more limited, so that causes problems with just your causes awkwardness, causes sadness for not being able to hang out with people, causes lack of development because when you're around people, they can push you. And of course, all these bad habits can cause a lot of problems too. I mean, mental problems from, from prawn, from drugs, from um, isolation from the being atomized. I mean, there's all these problems, which I mean, I think that's true, but I think he's well in terms of he's positive in terms of you need to improve yourself, so fair enough, but he's negative in terms of this generation is great in terms of us and ourselves we're not great, but I think we have a great deal of potential in terms of what we can distill to our children of the dangers of a lot of these new habits that we got piled on. We were kind of the I don't know, we were kind of unlucky, frankly, and we have all these problems that we have to deal with, and we're the next generation that has to really, we are the first generation that was born with electronics, completely born, boom, out your mama, here's a laptop. I mean, we are the first iPad baby generation, frankly, um, or iPods or whatever. iPads weren't until I don't think they were born in like 2002, right? When I was born, right? Or 2001, 2000, whatever, right? Um, and he also talks about how, but my point is, we have a great opportunity of, actually, he does talk about that, how we can, help our children be better with technology, but what he doesn't talk about how medical stats are better as it used to be. Everyone's living longer generally, every country. Um, the positives of technology, being able to connect with people that you've never been able to connect to before. Just better technology in literally everything. Cars, everything's safer. Technology's better in everything. I mean, you, yeah, you can just tell. I mean, treatments for diseases, everything. Um, yeah, I don't know when we're gonna reach the point where um, the world's gonna be actually definitively in a worse place, like a nihilistic what's that word? Like I imagine like a dystopian technological world, right? Where I don't think we're there yet. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think he is a bit. You can tell in some of his videos he's just very angry at the world, which fair enough. I mean, you're a teenager, and I was very angry at the world when I was watching his videos too. So I can't really, you know, be at fault. He can't really be at fault because I mean, so many people of my age. I mean, he's what I'm almost 21. He's 2019. He's right near my age. We would connect a lot, right? Hypothetically, right? If we met, which we won't, but well, who knows, right? I think he's also a good representation of a very slightly above average male. 5'10", good shape, not great shape, good shape. You can tell he's smart, not extremely smart, just smart. Um, Solid communicator, somewhat funny, not extremely funny, somewhat funny. Um, in terms of his funniness, he just makes like goofy videos in terms of like he talks about a somewhat serious topic like Gen Z and mental illness or video game addiction or whatever, right? And he'll be wearing like cat ears, or he'll like be completely clothed, but then censor himself. Like it's just funny, like weird, goofy stuff. And he also like he freestyles at the beginning of a bunch of videos, just randomly rhyming the most idiotic things like turnips and helicopters, right? Like I don't know. I mean, he's funny. I mean, I'm a bit harsh on him, but yeah, he seems like a cool guy. I mean, but my main point is he's a young guy and he talks about the problems of the young man. And he doesn't necessarily have a ton of solutions. I mean, he does. It's improve yourself, right? But he's not, you can tell he's still working on himself. That's cool. He's a work in progress. He's not a 30-year-old guy that has it pretty figured out. Nope, he's 20, 19, whatever. He's just a young guy trying to make it in the world. He got a little niche, getting some money, honey. Good for him. Unless he's censored, then that's tough in terms of not censored, demonetized, then that's tough. But he can still use his attention for money and making a business or whatever he wants to do. But yeah, takeaways. Well, I basically just said the takeaway. He's showing the young man the struggles of the young man. He just talks about the problems of Gen Z. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think it's super important for young people to watch him because not even younger people, just either females, because obviously he talks about dudes. Well, that's one huge thing I forgot to talk about. For he talks about the struggles of being a guy and how you can be an ugly girl on Tinder and get 100 matches while you're an average guy on Tinder you get no matches practically, right? Like I mean, it's tough. The disparity between attention between male and females is so depressing. As a big border you have to get through. You just have to improve yourself and get through it and get through your 20s and you'll be better in your 30s. Get in shape, money, right? I mean, the thing about men, if you're an ugly man, you can still be okay to a certain extent. If you have money, if you're in shape, you can literally make yourself look better. If you're in money, providing resources for a girl, you're not screwed. If you're like 5'4", I actually think that unless you're like genuinely mentally deficient and genuinely like a midget, I genuinely, excuse my language, genuinely a short person that has a um, I'm pretty sure the word I just said was a derogatory, derogatory, derogatory word technically. So my apologies there, but everyone's used that word before, so I think we'll live here. But my point is, as long as you don't have some super major handicap, I think 5'4", get a lot of money. You can get in really good shape. 'Cause you're short, so your muscles will blow up pretty quickly. I mean, good skincare. I think you'll be okay. Frankly, I mean, look at Tom Cruise. He's 5'7". That's not 5'4", but if Tom Cruise is 5'4", guess what? I think he'd be fine. Seriously. Got a little bit on a tangent there, but yeah, he's a cool guy. Good Gen Z influencer. Oh. Yep.